IKEA has released a couple of new sensors. They actually announced three but released two of them. So today we will be looking at this Parasoll Door Window sensor and also VALLHORN Motion sensor. We'll start in a couple of seconds. In my last week's video, I talked about ZHA and Zigbee to MQTT. What you should use, when you should use it. Actually, I didn't say what you should use, that's decision up to you, but I've gone through pros and cons of ZHA versus Zigbee to MQTT. And in that video, I showcased one of these new IKEA sensors. Why? Because unfortunately, at the time of the recording, and this is January 2024, no, you cannot add any of them currently to Home Assistant. Well, that part will be uneventful, but still I will show you if and what you get in ZHA, but also how well it works with Zigbee to MQTT. First thing that we will look at is this VALLHORN wireless motion sensor. And this sensor is a pretty big one. But on the other hand, I really would like to see the comments of all the people that are commenting on the Sonoff latest Zigbee sensor, where they were using some odd battery for it, and they mentioned that the device should have used rechargeable all AAA batteries. Well, the size of this device actually is very big because it packs two AAA batteries. So how do you like this one now? It's a much bigger, much chunkier, but I do like the case because it is very easy and convenient to mount. It can be mounted either on object, mounted on the wall, but also since it has cut-off edges, you can also mount it very easily in the corner of the room. You can open the device easily, but you will need screwdriver to pop the lid on the backside of the device. And as I mentioned, that backside is packing two AAA batteries. Most of the batteries I use that are either AA or AAA are IKEA rechargeable batteries. So it goes without saying that this device will work on the rechargeable batteries, and yes, you can get them also from IKEA. The pairing process is very simple, although for people that do not read the documentation, here is the short recap. You have to quickly push the pairing button 4 times. Not 3, not 5, not 6, but exactly 4. If you're running ZHA and click on Add Device, and tap the button 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, the light, the orange light under the motion sensor will start to glow, but you will not get any new device in Home Assistant via the ZHA. So that one failed. I sincerely hope that the future versions of ZHA will bring us support for this device. If it does, if it works, I will be leaving a pinned comment down in a comment section below, where you will be able to see with what version of ZHA it is working and also what entities you get with this motion sensor. On the other hand, if you go to Zigbee to MQTT, click on Permit Join. Once again, press the pairing button 4 times. The pairing process will start, and you should see device added to your Zigbee to MQTT instance. This device is supported officially in Zigbee to MQTT. If we click on the model, it should open the link in the documentation telling you what is supported. It exposes occupancy, battery, illumens, illumens lux, and the link quality. Also, this device should support over-the-air updates from within Zigbee to MQTT. And if we check exposes, we can see that we have information about occupancy. It is currently occupied, battery is at 93%, but the illuminance value and the lux value for me unfortunately do not work. No matter what type of setting on the backside I set for the night or day motion sensor activity, I cannot get any kind of a reading for the illuminance or lux values. But they are supported in Home Assistant, and maybe the next update to Zigbee to MQTT will also fix this issue. One thing that I want to note here is how big this device actually is. If we compare it, for example, to the Aqara motion sensor that also has a luminous detection, it's at least 4 times, if not 5 times, as big as that one. But also, if we compare it to the latest Sonoff Zigbee sensor, yeah, even compared to that device, this one is really big. There are no additional settings in Home Assistant. On the backside of the sensor, you have 2 buttons. One is to set up the idle time, either 1 or 5, and the other button allows you to set up if the motion sensor will be triggered during the day or not. So if it's working only during the night or both during the day and night. And that is it. But remember, this is just the plain motion sensor. there are no fancy things that you will find in the presence sensor. You cannot detect in what zone the object is, you cannot detect if the object is moving towards you or away from you. The next device I want to show you is this door and window sensor. Once again, this sensor is powered by the AAA batteries. This time it's using only one AAA battery. And while I did not have any issues with the previous sensor, this one has been giving me a lot of headaches. But let's jump into the device itself. It's very easy to open the device, although you will need a screwdriver to unscrew the lid so you can pop in the battery, one AAA battery. Once again, using rechargeable IKEA battery, 750 mAh. On the back side, you also have one additional button, and yes, that button is a pairing button protected by the back plate. If you remove the back plate, press this button 4 times in a row and the device should go in the pairing process. If we go to our ZHA network, click on Add Device, click the button 4 times, the light will start to blink, the interview will start, and this is where the process hangs for me. Whatever I do, whatever I try, unfortunately, I am not able to get this device in the ZHA with all available entities. And I'm talking here about the latest version of Home Assistant. This is 2024.1.5, which was the latest official release with all the patches and bug fixes in itself. Future me here. According to the GitHub and ZHA documentation, this device should be available via the ZHA. It says that it will not work if you are using, or you may have issues if you are using Texas Instruments Coordinator. I'm not. My ZHA network is working with Sky Connect or Yellow Embedded Coordinator. So I have Silicon Labs chip, I'm not using Texas Instruments, and for me it's not working. But there may be also issue with the routers I have on that network. I'm not sure if any of the routers is fully Zigbee 3.0 compliant. So if you have a Silicon Labs coordinator and you have Zigbee 3.0 routers on the network, according to this issue that was closed as resolved, this device should work with the ZHA. Sorry IKEA. If we start the pairing process in Zigbee to MQTT, click on Permit Join, push the button 4 times. The pairing process should start and this device should be added to Home Assistant. But unfortunately, with the latest release of Zigbee to MQTT, I'm also having issues with this device. Let's check them out. If we go to Exposes, we can see that this device exposes battery information, which is currently null, but don't worry if it's null for some time, because it can take up to 24 hours for this value to get populated in Zigbee to MQTT and then in Home Assistant. Then we have information about the contact, which is open, and the link quality, which is 80. But the funny thing is that even if you open and it changes value and close, it also changes the value. In Zigbee to MQTT, the device is always in an offline state, or availability is offline. I've tried to do OTA inside Zigbee to MQTT for the new firmware, but unfortunately the firmware it came with, and this is 2023-05-16 or 16th of May 2023, is the latest version I could get. Maybe in the future, with update to both Zigbee to MQTT and also update to the firmware, we will be more lucky. But why is this a problem? Because, as you may see here, each time I open the sensor or close the sensor, it will detect it and it will update the state in Zigbee to MQTT. But if I go to Home Assistant is actually not pulling any value here. And concerning Home Assistant, if we go to Integrations, type in MQTT and open the device here, we see that unfortunately it simply is not updating values in Home Assistant. I tried removing it from Home Assistant, from MQTT and also from Zigbee to MQTT, pairing the device once again. It always stays in the offline state, and no matter what I do, it always ends up as unavailable in Home Assistant. I really am not sure what is the issue here, why this device is detected as offline, and also on the other hand, why does it actually update its state, but I wasn't able to do anything useful with it in Home Assistant. And if we compare it in size with a typical door window sensor, Zigbee door window sensor, it is also double if not triple in size. As far as the motion sensor is concerned, this device is working perfectly. It may not be as customizable as some other newer sensors, but one good thing about IKEA is that while there may not be shops around the world for Akara, there are a lot of shops around the world with the IKEA stuff, so you can easily buy it locally. And if I would compare it with one of the latest Sonoff Zigbee motion sensors, the review to that device will be linked up here, well, I'm not sure if it's worth buying, except if you need to buy something locally and this is the only device you can get. As far as the door window sensor is concerned, I do like the design of the device, I do like the idea of using rechargeable AAA batteries, but it is very bulky, very big, but that's not even the issue. For me, the biggest issue is that I was not able to use it reliably inside Home Assistant. While it is supported with Zigbee to MQTT, I was having a lot of issues. Mind you, at one point it did work, but it just stopped working, and no matter what I did, I was not able to test the functionality, and that is to track if the door or window is opened or closed. And this is it for this video. I do hope that you did like this video. If you did like this video, don't forget to give me a like. If you yourself bought any of those sensors, well, drop me a line down in the comment section below and say why do you not agree with me. Are you lucky? Is this door window sensor working for you? Maybe I just got the bad unit. And before I wrap up, I would like to thank all those wonderful people that are supporting me and that have become YouTube channel members. Thank you all for all of your support. But let's not forget each and every one of you who has watched, liked, subscribed or commented on my videos. If you too want to support the channel, you can do so by clicking the join button down below and becoming a YouTube channel member, or you can go to my merchandise store and get something there. The third option is of course super thanks, and I will be super thankful for that. I will be seeing you next time. Until then, bye bye and have fun.